the Xavier Institute of Business Administration. We now move into the valedictory ceremony. Today's conference has brought together eminent speakers, researchers, academicians, and participants who shared valuable insights on resilience, sustainability, and innovation in a rapidly evolving global environment. The thought provoking keynote addresses and engaging paper presentations have certainly enriched our understanding and opened new avenues for academic dialogue and collaboration. It is now my privilege to welcome our revered guest for the valedictory session, Reverend Dr. Lazar S.J., the Secretary of St. Xavier's College, Palayamkottai. May I now request our Father Director, Reverend Dr. Michael John S.J., to honor our Father Secretary with a memento. Reverend Father Lazar is widely admired for his visionary leadership and his dedicated service to Jesuit education. His guidance continues to strengthen academic excellence, institutional growth, and value based education. We are truly honored by his gracious presence with us this evening. We now move to the release of the conference proceedings, which is an important outcome of this academic gathering. The proceedings bring together the scholarly contributions and research insights presented during today's conference. May I now request Reverend Dr. Lazar S.J., the Secretary of St. Xavier's College, Reverend Dr. Michael John S.J., the Director of ZIBA, to kindly come forward for the release of the conference proceedings. Also, I request for the Secretary to operate the flipbook of the proceedings abstract. Thank you, Fathers. May I now respectfully invite Reverend Dr. Lazar S.J., the Secretary of St. Xavier's College, to deliver the valedictory address. Father, please.
Dear professors, research scholars, paper presenters from other colleges, and my dear loving students, you know Father Lazar, the Secretary of St. Xavier's College, Palayamkottai, is not an ordinary man. He has a very vast area of expertise. He has been a secretary and professor in Loyola College and St. Joseph's College, and he has been a rector of St. Joseph's College for full 6 years. And he was a management man. He was teaching in human resource management, which is known as social dynamics of St. Joseph's College. And you know his graduation, he was graduated in IGNOU, Delhi, and one of the toppest students there. And his thinking and critical reflection on various issues, particularly social issues, are very amazing. And such a wonderful person is amidst us. So we put our hands together to welcome Father Lazar. And of course, Father Lazar has been my own teacher in MA HRM. So I am happy to have my own professor here. So thank you, Father, for accepting it. Most welcome.
Dear Father, Director Dr. Michael John, members of the faculty, and my dear students, I wish you all a very good evening. First of all, I would like to clarify what Father Director was mentioning about me as a management man. It is true that I was working in the department known as Human Resource Management, but my discipline is sociology. So it's an interdisciplinary department. So my domain knowledge is in sociology, not in the management as such. I'm very glad to be here as you conclude a day-long international conference on a very interesting subject, driving sustainable business development in a hyper-connected economy. Sure, you listen to many enriching ideas from eminent speakers and paper presenters. I know you are eager to end the day and get back soon. Knowing your frame of mind, I would like to keep my speech as short as possible. Sustainable business development is defined in terms of 3 Ps, as you know: planet, people, and profit. I personally connect with this formulation of sustainable business development, even as a sociologist, because it brings in a healthy balance of three constituency of any business enterprise. Usually, there is always a tension because historically, the corporate world was having its day. It had a very predominant position and it was able to control and manipulate the other 2 Ps, people and planet, to its own interest of making profit. This has been the traditional model. But today, fortunately, we are having a new formulation, very healthy formulation of keeping all these three on an equilibrium. A business that takes care of nature and people is a healthy business. So, as a student of sociology and as a human person, I like this formulation because I know the other side of the formulation, where profit remained the overriding interest of any business. I would like to share with you a few thoughts about how we have reached this point in terms of this formulation. I know it may not relate immediately to your current subject, but as young people, you should know that such healthy accomplishments in society by the involvement of a variety of actors doesn't happen automatically. It has a cost. And this formulation of sustainable business development also had a cost. What do I mean? in the 60s and 70s and later on, we had many people's movements which came onto the street and raised concerns about the way business was conducted in the traditional model, where profit was overriding everything else. People from the lowest strata, even people doing variety of occupations like doctors, media persons, politicians, they were coming out in unison to raise questions about the way the corporate world was dealing with the other two P's, people and planet. Many people's movements promoting environmental protection as its main cause, many social movements trying to protect human rights vis-a-vis the business operations in their surroundings or in the world at large. They said something is wrong. The nature belongs to all, not only the present generation, also to the future generation. So we cannot exhaust it as though it exists only for us in the present generation or for one particular collective, that is the corporate world. And similarly, businesses are creating profit, but that profit is not shared fairly well. It goes into the pocket of a small section of humanity whom we call the shareholders. These questions were not taken kindly by the establishment at that point of time. I'm talking about 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. This was more or less my period in the society where I was pursuing different kinds of engagements as a student, as a professor, as a social activist, as a scholar, and so on and so forth. So I do have a certain modest presence in the processes that I am describing to you just now that has led to the current topic you are discussing. And these upsurge among the people, raising certain valid questions, asking for review of the traditional business model, was not easy. Many people were arrested, beaten up, thrown into jail, and some even died. People who fought for the protection of the environment and people's rights. You may not be aware, or some of you have read something in the background, maybe you are aware. But these are realities through which we have reached here. So, as I said, though it is not immediately relevant to your topic, but it can go as a valid, relevant background information. It can go into your general knowledge. And now, government could not ignore the voices of the people, and it had to change. Government, which was initially promoting a particular model of development or business development, was willing to change its course of action, and it initiated a number of regulatory measures to bring the corporate world into doing business in a different way. And companies also responded. Now we have all in one alliance. The government, the corporate world, and the people at large, we are all in one alliance, understanding business as basically an effort to create wealth to be shared. to create wealth without damaging the environment, which needs to be replenished, for which the business enterprises must have certain responsibility. Though we have the policies and regulatory mechanisms guiding the current model of business for a healthy outcome, we also should know that adherence to these policies and programs and regulatory mechanisms are half-hearted, to say the best. Companies report that they are very much aligned with this vision of business, meaning that they would like to care for the nature and also for the wider distribution of wealth, but they cook up reports and present one position for the public consumption, but whereas they do the business the traditional way. This is a shortcoming. Every human institution has its own positives and negatives, and you are all people who are going to become part of this human grouping called the corporate world, and therefore you need to be aware that we have certain achievements which are not being realized to the fullest extent. Because as humans, it's very difficult to overcome the desire for money, to put limit on our desire for profit. The shareholders will have their expectations on the CEOs to make maximum profit. It's a human situation. And this I want you to register in your attention, so that this is going to go with you as long as you are in this business world. Now, having said this, I would like now to say a few words about what you get in an effort like this, or in an institution like this, which is being guided by the Jesuits, who have a vision of education. I need to articulate that. The vision of Jesuit education is, as I said once again, that it wants a healthy balance. It would like to prepare business graduates, business leaders, professionals who would always uphold this healthy balance, which we have arrived at a terrible cost. This Jesuit education will recognize the sacrifices people have made in the past to arrive at this intellectual construction of a model of business, and we want the graduates to imbibe the spirit of sustainability all through their engagements in this particular profession. In this context, I would like to cite one work, very famous one. I'm sure you are all aware of it. The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. Are you aware? No? How many of you have read this work? Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. As one person has read. Written by C.K. Prahalad, who was a Loyola alumnus, and he migrated to America, and he became a well-respected management guru. And he wrote this book very recently, maybe 10, 15 years back. Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid, and eradication of poverty through profit. Eradication of poverty through profit. Profit, we understand, usually makes poverty. But he is proposing a business model as a very well-known, world-acclaimed business management expert, eradicating poverty through profit. So profit is not threatened by doing a business of a different type. The essence of his work is that corporate world should know that they need not serve only the elite class, the upper middle class. Their business model need not be confined to catering to the needs of the upper echelons of the society. They can choose to do business, provide quality services and products to the very poor, the lower middle class, at an affordable cost. And you still make a profit, fortune. That's why he calls it fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is all poor people. And you make a business, you can give quality business, you can give quality services and products. Do that for them, which means you have to rework your production process, your supply chain or whatever and so on, and reach to the poor at an affordable cost and multiplied by the number of people at the bottom of the pyramid, your profit will be a lot more than what you would be making doing business with the people on the top. Very simple logic, fascinating. You all agree with that, I suppose? If not, please read the book and then try to understand and respond to him. And to make your understanding easier, I would like to give one of the many cases that he has documented in the book. And that case is the well-known eye hospital. Can you name it? What is the well-known eye hospital? Very good. So he says Arvind Hospital does business like this. It gives a quality service to variety of people and makes enough profit to expand, to build its profit. It was started in Madurai. When I first came to know of it, I had my first eye checkup in that hospital in 1989. And today they have branches in Chennai, Tirunelveli, and possibly in Coimbatore and many other places. How was it possible? If you are doing business for the poor, which is going to be very bad for the profit, all this is not possible. Even in Madurai itself, you will be fascinated by the expansion they have done in that place. So, I have 2 points to make here. One is that he has been an old student of Loyola. I hope he has got some spirit in his creativity from the institution and the education he got. And secondly, he serves as a symbol of hope for the young people like you. So what you need to imbibe in you through this international seminar is to believe and try. As this gentleman who created this Arvind Hospital and many other places, many people have done. So if you carry this love for sustainability and keep trying, first believe it and try it, you will become a worthy alumnus of Jesuit institutions. And I am sure many other people have come from other institutions, don't feel isolated. It's for all this invitation. So I hope this conference today has given us a new perspective, a new hope, new enthusiasm, so that we will make a change in the society as we move on into the corporate world, picking up the thread from where it is now, and then create a better future for all our people. So with these few words, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for anything.
Thank you very much, Father, for your inspiring and thoughtful valedictory message. We now proceed to the distribution of certificates to the paper presenters and participants who contributed to the success of this conference. I now call upon Dr. Rita Rebecca, Dean Academics, to call upon the names for certificate distribution.
We'll now move on to the special moment of recognition. Certificates are indeed a symbol of recognition, and each participant had added meaning to the discussions and deliberations today, and they have added in-depth value to their discussions and deliberations. And now it's time to honor you, and I request the presenters to come forward to collect the certificates from the delegates on the dais. May I now request our Father Secretary and Father Director to present the certificates to the presenters. Miss Evelyn Anto, Assistant Professor, Ziva. Miss Nandini of Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal. Shalom Dilani and Mahalashmi of Ziba. Miss Vinodini, Miss Vijaya Bharati, Miss Shara Evangeline, and Miss Aroma Gifty from Anna University. Miss Saranya from Ziba. Research scholar from Ziba. And Mr. Arumagam. Research scholars, Ziba Center for Research. Ms. Ramya Rani, Ziba Center for Research. Ms. Mari Selvam, Ziba Center for Research. Ms. Ulagamal, Infant Jesus Engineering College. Ms. Fatima Shiba, Ziba Center for Research. Ms. Abrami, Ziba Center for Research. Mr. Vishwesh, Ziba Center for Research. Ms. Susmita, Ziba Center for Research. Ms. Indu, Ziba Center for Research. And Ms. Lakshmi, Ziba Center for Research. And finally, Ms. Ramalakshmi, Ziba Center for Research. Thank you, fathers.
Congratulations to all the participants and presenters for their valuable contributions. Finally, to formally conclude this conference, I now invite Dr. Ram Kumar, Organizing Secretary of the International Conference, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, esteemed faculty members, dear participants and friends. It is indeed my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Xavier Institute of Business Administration at the conclusion of this remarkable international conference on Resilience 2.0, driving sustainable business development in a hyper-connected economy. First and foremost, I express my heartfelt gratitude to the Lord Almighty for His abundant grace, guidance, and blessings which made this event possible. At the outset, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our leader, Reverend Dr. A. Michael John S.J., the director of ZIBA, for his inspiring welcome address and for being the guiding force behind this conference. Father, your vision and encouragement continue to shape our academic endeavors with clarity and purpose. Thank you, dear Father. I'm deeply grateful to Reverend Dr. U. Godwin Rufus S.J., the principal of St. Xavier's College, Palayam Kotai, for his thought-provoking inaugural address. Father, your words have set the tone for resilience and sustainability as the cornerstones of future-ready institutions. Thank you, dear Father. I'm deeply grateful to Reverend Dr. S. Lazar S.J., the Secretary of St. Xavier's College, Palayam Kotai, for his gracious felicitation address during the valedictory session. Father, your encouraging words and continued support for academic activities inspire us to pursue excellence in our scholarly endeavors. Thank you, dear Father. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. T. Rita Rebecca, Dean Academics of ZIBA and the conference coordinator for Resilience 2.0 for her meticulous planning and the tireless coordination that ensured the successful conduct of this international conference. Thank you, ma'am. We are profoundly enriched by the scholarly contributions of our keynote speakers, namely Janet Dhanaraj, Ms. Janet Dhanaraj, for her illuminating discourse on intelligent enterprise and the transformative power of artificial intelligence and analytics. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Francis Christian for bridging medicine, digital health, and resilience with compassion and sustainability. Thank you, sir. Dr. Sanjay J. Bayani for embedding ESG principles into business models with clarity and convictions. Thank you, Professor. And finally, architect Sharon for highlighting the architecture's role in shaping resilient cities and sustainable ecosystems. Thank you, ma'am. I also extend my sincere thanks to our panel chairs, Dr. Lenin Selvanayagam, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, Mr. Sahaya Shabu, Ms. Fastina, and Ms. Anusha for moderating the paper presentations with scholarly rigor and constructive engagement. Your stewardship has ensured that the voices of emerging researchers were heard with respect and encouragement. Thank you, dear panel chairs. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciations to our program co-chairs, Ms. Rosli Jeba and Ms. Vibin Shah. Your valuable guidance and support in organizing and coordinating these sessions greatly contributed to the smooth execution of this conference. Thank you, professors. My sincere thanks also goes to the Joint Secretary, Ms. Grace Nyana Shibulin, 2nd MBA ZIBA, for the dedicated efforts and active support in coordinating the conference activities. Thank you, Grace. I would also like to acknowledge the valuable contributions of Dr. Nithila and Ms. Evelyn Anto from the Research and Proceedings Committee, whose efforts in managing the research, documentation, and proceedings played a crucial role in the academic success of this conference. Thank you, professors. I would also like to thank our dear sponsors, SBI Tirunelveli and Wisdom Academy of Professional Studies for their generous contributions towards this conference Resilience 2.0. Thank you, dear sponsors. Finally, I thank all the delegates, faculty members, research scholars, and students who have actively participated and made this conference a vibrant platform for dialogue, learning, and collaboration. Your presence and engagement have been a true measure of its success. On behalf of ZIBA, I once again express my deepest appreciation to everyone who has contributed to the success of Resilience 2.0. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Let us all stand with respect for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे